Hi, I'm Dan Music, and today we're going to show you how to check a garage door. Basically, two things that you check as far as the opener. You want to check the amount of force that the opener is pushing with, both to close the door and to open the door. If your force for opening the door is set too strong and the spring breaks, you can buckle the top of the door. Same thing can happen if the closed force is set too tight. It pushes, goes down, hits, and will actually bend the door, especially if it's not properly reinforced, and it'll wreck the top section. And a lot of older doors that have been out there for 10, 15 years are no longer available. Some have only been out there 5 or 6 years. If you damage its top section, for example, you have to get a whole new door. So we want to show you a way to protect your door, and also to protect others that may be, like especially if you have children in the area. First, we'll check the up lift by opening the door and holding the door, restraining it as it opens. As the door is opening, it stops pretty easily. Now, another way to test this is to close the door. I will stand on the scale and check my weight. And as the door is rising, I'll see how much weight I lose. That'll tell me how much upward force there is on the scale. So that pulled is about 70 pounds, which means we can back substantially off of that. Notice that the force adjustment on these is set between high and normal. This is a pretty light door. So I'm going to back it up to the middle of low on both of them. And we'll start from that point to test the force adjustment on the door. So now I'm going to recheck the upward force of the door. Push it up. And I lost about 25 pounds that time. I'm going to double check it. Check it again. About 25 to 30 pounds. That's a good distance, a good amount of force. This is summer, it's warm. In the winter, that adjustment is going to drop down to about 5 or 10 pounds. Now, if you're handy, you like doing this sort of thing, you can adjust it even lighter. As a service technician, I've got to make sure when I adjust this opener that the customer doesn't have to pay for another service call in the winter when it's cold and the bearings are stiff. So I'll leave it right around 30, 35 pounds, 25 to 35 pounds. Next, when I open the door all the way, check the down force, close force. So I put did something similar here. I'm going to stand on the scale and see how much force this will exert as I stand on the scale. That's only about 5 pounds. If you have little toddlers playing in the garage all the time, leave it there. But if you're a serviceman and you've got to warranty your work, you've got to tighten it up a little bit. So I'm going to adjust the close force. About 5 minutes on the dial, and I'll recheck this. I increased the force on that. That's about as light as you want to do it in the summer. In the winter, you can drop it down to 5 or 10 pounds. But in the summer, you'll know that in the summer it's going to have about 25 to 30 pounds. The measurement you want to check on the opener is the travel. You want the door to open all the way. At this time, we're going to close the door to see if it closes properly, and also to adjust the limit, which you often have to do whenever you make the repair that we've made. Notice that the door doesn't close all the way. Chamberlain, LiftMaster, and Sears openers, one turn on the dial will give you 2 inches of travel. If we measure the bottom of the door, you see that we have about 1 inch. Step on to about 2 inches. So I'm going to turn the dial one complete turn on the side of the opening. To do that, we first open the door. I just noticed that the door opened properly. It's exactly where it should be. We need to adjust the down travel. On the side of the unit are 2 screws. The one on the left is the down adjustment, the one on the right is the up. To increase the travel, which is what we want to do, we're going to adjust the down screw one complete turn to get 2 inches of travel. So went around one complete turn on the down adjustment. At this point, we will push the button and see what happens. Perfect.